Here's how we do that heel sit. So we're gonna go feet and knees together, and we're sitting back on those heels. Could feel a stretch through the front of the shin, for the front of the ankle, through the shin, through the knees. And if this is too hard to get vertical, then we'll start with our hands here and working our way back. The more vertical my torso is, the more weight's going through this. The more horizontal my torso is, the less weight's going through this. Eventually, we want to get to a point where we're kind of able to sit tall and bounce on this. But as we work into that, we may start from a crawling position and just slowly work our way back. Heel sit, hip extended. So we're going to be sitting on those heels just like this. We're going to put our hands behind us and we're going to throw those hips up in the air as high as we can. This is going to be a really big stretch through the front of the hips. If we want to progress this and make it even more difficult, we'll kind of do a modified couch stretch position with this, where we're going to go one leg up, one leg down, and then we'll throw that hip up in the air. And that'll hit that front of that hip even more. For the toe sit, it's going to be really similar to that heel sit where it's feet and knees together, but those toes are going to be tucked under here. So we're really trying to emphasize a big stretch to that toe in through there. Same thing with the heel sit. If this is too much here, then walk my way forward. If that's not enough, slowly work my way up. The more vertical I am, the more weight's pushing down on the toes. The next thing we're gonna play with is our Caesar sit, and that's gonna be feet and knees a little bit wider with the toes together, heels apart. So from the back, that's gonna look like this, where those toes are together, those heels are apart. And as I'm sitting back on that, then I'm leaning side to side with that. I wanna try to get this outside ankle bone to come in and touch the ground. With our upward facing dog, we're gonna be in that push-up position, but we're gonna go top of the feet, and then we're getting up as vertical as high as we can here, making sure that the top of the feet and our hands are the only thing touching the ground. Supine, happy baby knee extensions. We're gonna lay on our back, pull our knees to our chest, put our arms in between our knees, grab our toes. While holding on to the toes, I'm gonna straighten out one leg at a time here. As I want to progress this, I'll get closer and closer to that lockout. And as I want to make this even more difficult, I will keep that foot farther above my forehead, where the farther above my forehead I get, the more difficult that lockout becomes. The farther away, the easier that lockout becomes. Hip flexion stretch, two ways. So we're gonna lay on our back, keep the bottom leg on the ground, that calf touching the ground. And I'm gonna pull this knee to the chest as far as I can without this leg lifting up here or bending at all. When I find that max, I'm just sitting in it right there, holding that. Another way we can do that is in a quadruped position where I'm arching that back, sending one leg back, and I'm going as deep as I can with that. Being sure to not round the back to get farther. I'm keeping that butt pushed back as high as I can to stretch out this lumbar spine by mobilizing this lumbar spine really, really well. So we're gonna pull our feet to our chest. We're gonna send those feet over that head to where we feel like that stopping point is. Then from there, we're really just gonna kind of like pulse. We're gonna bring that lower and lower and lower until we feel like we can bring those feet all the way over the head. And then as that feet over the head gets comfy, we're gonna pulse the knees to go lower and lower and lower with that. So we're feet over the head. All the way until we find ourselves to where those knees are going all the way to the floor. Working on our plow pose, our spinal flexion, sending our feet over our head. where I'm gonna lay on my back, grab those toes, and send those feet over the air, hitting the ground. We might be stuck here, that's fine. We'll slowly work our way back. And then as this gets easier, 2 ways to progress. We can bend the knees closer to the ground, or we can walk the feet farther and farther back. We can support ourselves with our hands on our back through the entirety of that, or we can have our hands touching our feet. Our thoracic spinal rotation. We're gonna lay on our back. We're gonna send one leg over. We're gonna put this hand on top of this knee to hold this leg down. And then I'm sending this arm up and across to try to get that motion open up. But notice with this, I have one variable, and it's only this hand moving. It's not both of these floating, but I'm keeping the knee down, searching for more and more depth with the hand on every breath. Our reverse bridge pose, so our fingers are facing the front of the room. We're locking these elbows out, and we're sending these hips as high in the air as we can. As this gets comfy and we can get some real height, we can even send the knees over the toes more to get a little bit more stretch through those shoulders. Doing our hip internal rotation drop stretch. So we're gonna go feet and knees as wide as we can. We're sitting up really tall, and then we're dropping that knee across the body. Big thing with this is we're not letting that hip come up into the air. So from the side, we're not letting that hip drop up. We're keeping that sit bone on the ground as we drop that knee across. And our goal for this is for this to get about a 60-degree angle. So, you've got 90, 45, 60. And so we're gonna drop this across. We can even take this opposite hand and push it down to increase the strength of that stretch, but we're looking for a really big stretch through the outside of the hip and the front of that hip as well. We're doing our Gota crossover stretch, which is a combo of our hip rotation and hip abduction at the same time. And so from the front angle, we're taking one leg in a hands and knees position. We're crossing it over and back as far as we can while we keep this upper body straight. And so from the back, that looks like this, where I'm taking this leg across and over as far as I can, looking for a really big stretch on the outside of that down hip. Our goal with this is really just to get as far as we can, but while keeping that back completely straight. You're gonna feel like you're really good at this when you get that knee to go all the way to that opposite shoulder. So if I'm dropping this back and across, I get this knee even with this opposite shoulder. Working on that calf stretch, we're gonna call it the 2-foot calf stretch. So we start and you put one foot up on the wall, another foot behind, and then a second foot behind. So my toe is 2 of my feet away from the wall. Then I'm going to put that front toe on the wall, knee on the wall, and then I'm gonna lock these hips down. I'm not gonna be open, those hips are gonna be closed. Key with this is that I want this back heel turned out, not in, so it locks that foot into position, because I'll get a lot more stretch with that heel turned out. And so it's that 2-foot position, knee to wall, heel out, knee locked, hip rotate, shoulder up, down stretch. So we can do this with both sides in both directions, up and down. So I'm gonna take this strap and I'm going to put it behind my back, and I'm gonna take my bottom arm and I'm gonna pull down as low as I can. Now with this, I don't wanna be curled. I don't wanna be overly arched, but I do kind of wanna squeeze the glutes to get a really, really good stretch through this arm. Now, for the up portion, I'm doing the exact same thing, just opposite, where I'm in that position, but I'm pulling up with this arm. And then instead of holding it up like this, I'm actually just gonna drop it down and across. I don't wanna be hunched forward like this. I wanna squeeze those shoulder blades together. I don't wanna arch with the low back, so I wanna squeeze the abs, squeeze the glutes with this, and open the shoulder to get a really good stretch through the front side of that shoulder.